What is up, my friends and fellow anti-netters? What I want to show you is, today I have been basically planning out the next issue of the Scott Shepherd letter, which is, here's a little preview of it, my physical monthly newsletter that I write and deliver to the doorstep of my people, my, analog knowledge developers, people who want to become independent writers, creators, and thinkers, and also make a hell of a living doing so, and also attract an awesome tribe of people. And so today, I just want to show you the behind the scenes of what I've been up to. This gives you a little bit of a behind the scenes of actually, how to use your Zettelkasten to actually produce frickin' work, not just jerk around like all of the PKM digital bubble graph boys that like to, create meta tags and link their notes and, essentially guys that like to, basically do everything besides write and produce. I'm talking about all the guys that, produce courses on Zettelkasten, like, oh, how to, actually use your Zettelkasten for writing. And really, it's just a masturbatory display of how to actually, name notes in Obsidian and basically waste your time fumbling around Obsidian and then creating notes and a bunch of filth that you'll never be able to find and use again. And I'm also talking about the guys that essentially, create high-priced courses, and on, essentially linking your thinking, which I think Nick Milo has done some interesting things. But at the same time, I did a survey on the Reddit of Zettelkasten, and I asked how many people have actually produced any books or any creative output. Literally, out of the 17,000 people, there is only me. And then there is also Sasha Fast, who has created a book in German on Zettelkasten. And I think it's been in the works for a while of creating the Zettelkasten method. Not knocking him, but it's just like kind of fascinating and crazy that in the digital Zettelkasten community, you essentially have, and I should probably turn this around at this point so that you can actually see me, since I've just decided to go on yet another rant. But it's kind of freaking crazy that of all of the note-taking junkies out there, the Zettelkasten people, PKM people, none of them are actually focused on output. They get lost and distracted by this whole, para bullshit, this whole second brain bullshit, and they end up just becoming professional note-taking app switchers, meaning they start with Obsidian, and then they go to Logseek, and then they go to Tana, and then they go to whatever else. Insert the name of the next coolest thing out there. It's just the most ridiculous hogwash community out there. So what I want to show you right now is a behind the scenes of actually what goes into producing output, producing writing. And, coming from myself, I am an independent writer, creator, thinker. I make over 6 figures a year doing what I love, writing to my tribe of people. And, I only really have to sit down and have some assiduity, which is a term that really means sitting on your ass until you do something. I only have to do that once a month. The rest of the month, I spend however I wish. Like tomorrow, and actually tonight, I'm going to frickin' over to my Earth Angel girlfriend's house. And then tomorrow, I'm flying to Lake Tahoe for yet another mini vacation. And I've been on a ton of mini vacations, and I can do so because I'm an independent writer. I write for my people. I don't slave away like all of the other make money online writing guys out there who are basically glorified ghostwriters for VCs, right? And, basically, produce crappy content using a ship 30 method and basically have AI now overtaking their filth content. And what is their solution? Their solution is, of course, to basically produce 1,000 posts or tweets per day on Twitter instead of what they used to do, which is 100. It's hogwash. It's stupid. So if you want a life where you can basically sit on your butt, read and think all day, do whatever you want, or go on many vacations without clients hounding you, without needing to actually frickin' check your phone or do any of that crap, then listen up, pay attention, and watch what I'm about to show you, okay? So, I just finished yesterday. Basically, here is issue number 9 of the Scott Shepherd letter, and this goes into the details on actually how to tell. It's something I call the impeccable origin story framework. And basically, if you look at my book, chapter 1 was used and built using a formula I call the impeccable origin story formula. And when you implement this formula, you will essentially have a book that achieves what I've achieved with my book. Like I became the #1 bestseller in 2 categories on Amazon on the first day. And then I took my book off of Amazon because I didn't want to actually just create more users for Amazon. I wanted to actually get to know my people, right? And so anyway, I've been teaching this in issue number 9 of the Scott Shepherd letter, which came out earlier this month. And I use, of course, note cards and the Zettelkasten method for teaching it. So now I only finished the first third of it, okay? The next part is issue number 9. And how did I write issue number 9? Well, I wrote it by hand, okay, on a yellow legal pad. I'm trying to find the start of it. I think it starts, yep, here it is. Here's issue number 10. Here is the start of it, okay? And yes, I wrote all of this out by hand, and I explain everything that goes into crafting the best story, the best book, or best knowledge product, or anything such that it will go viral, okay? So now what I decided to do, because I had all of this is like the second, part 2 of 3 of the impeccable origin story framework. And sorry for all of my subscribers watching, a little bit of a spoiler alert. That's what's coming this month, and it's freaking incredible. So in writing it, I consulted a book, a fantastic book called The Writer's Journey, and I won't go into that, and also Joseph Campbell's The Hero with 1,000 Faces, and also a book by the marketer Russell Brunson called Expert Secrets. And each of these has 3 different storytelling frameworks, okay? And Joseph Campbell's is kind of the granddaddy of them all. He went deep into research on all of the famous myths and human stories dating back 10,000 BC to figure out what is ingrained in human nature, what kind of stories do we love, and the themes that also arise in all of the great movies. And Christopher Vogler, outlines this whole process of the different, basically phases of the hero's journey, and maps it to things like, Star Wars and, other things, and kind of makes it more explainable in the screen writer type of environment. So I have all of this stuff, but I have also, because I read Joseph Campbell's book a while ago, I have an entire section in my own Anti-Net Zettelkasten. If you look up story, basically it points me to 5225. And so here's it's essentially my section on story. And a lot of this is mapped to the hero's journey framework. And so, from Joseph Campbell over there. So what I would do is, before writing each one of my newsletters, that's basically then turned into, that, is I go into my own Anti-Net Zettelkasten, and I begin, basically refreshing my working memory on each step that I'm teaching. And then what I did is basically, and I pulled it out of here. This is my entire section. This whole thing right here is what I basically used as the raw material that wrote my 594-page beast best-selling book, Anti-Net Zettelkasten. And there's a section in here which I've bookmarked. I use a lime green blank bookmark to kind of to mark where I have left off. And as you can see, the last card here is 4214/0AB/7. And then, the first card down here, which I've turned over, is 4214/0AC, so that's like the next sequence. So in writing issue number 10 of the Scott Shepherd letter, on my legal pad right here, I left off, I'm explaining it, and I'm explaining basically the formula I used and which shaped chapter 1 of the Anti-Net Zettelkasten book, and I left off at this card, okay? The strategy card. Now, this is what I used to actually write my Anti-Net Zettelkasten book. And I wrote these cards about 2 years ago, okay? So 2 years ago. And what I've decided to do, I was refreshing on this, and then also exploring all of the hero's journey frameworks and giving it further and deeper thought. And what I've decided to do is make some alterations to how I organize and how I teach these last set of cards here. Okay, so what I'm going to show you how to do and what I've just done today is I started writing out my new, basically planned cards for this next phase. So instead of like strategy, I call it master plan strategy and approaching the innermost cave, which is a concept that Joseph Campbell talks about. And so this is going to essentially comprise issue number 11 here. And I wanted to, do this so that when I start issue number 11 next month, it's going to be very easy for me to craft it, okay? And how I teach how to do this and map out these, your impeccable origin story is I actually teach you and people in my newsletter to use 3 by 5 inch cards. And I'm using 4 by 6 inch cards here because I was just doing some what I thought were going to be some very basic like fleeting notes and quick jots, right? And so as you can see, I have like, number one, I have this section, and then number two. So I've kind of like, instead of creating two separate 3 by 5 inch cards, which I should have done, I have like, one card and then two concepts on the same card. And this is not best practice. This is why I teach, you to use 3 by 5 inch cards, but this kind of happened unexpectedly. And if you go over to, I think somewhere over here, I forgot, I would have to look it up. Yep. You kind of just know from spatially where your stuff is when you start using this, is if you can see, like, this is like, this is what I used. Like, this is a 3 by 5 inch card, which I used to basically write out the entire sales letter and story of the Scott Shepherd letter when you go to the homepage of the Scott Shepherd letter. So I use 3 by 5 inch cards now, and that's how I teach it now. But as any teacher will say, do as I say, not as I do. So don't do as I do here, okay? But what I did here, and the reason why I used 4 by 6 inch cards is because A, back in the day I used to use that, and then B, I thought these were going to be like, essentially just scratch notes. I wasn't planning on actually filing them and installing them in my AntiNet Zettelkasten. But after I finished this, I was like, wow, I went way, way, way into a little bit more detail on planning, issue number 11. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to actually number these cards, okay, and install them in my AntiNet Zettelkasten. And so what I want to show you, I haven't even done this yet, so I've decided to just do this and show you how this works live. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to put this away because we don't need this drawer, and I'm going to make some room. And I'm just going to show you how to do this. So let me put this up. The first thing is, you can probably see this. Yeah, that's good. Now, the first thing is here that where I left off and where I'm going to install this is basically, I finished, this was the last kind of section in in issue number 10, which is coming out of the Scott Shepherd letter. Now, this is the next sequence, okay, of the impeccable origin story, and the best hero's journey that you'll ever tell, that I actually used in the framework that I used. As you can see, it starts with strategy, and then your results, and then others' results, which goes into shaping, how you actually want to tell a story. However, like I said, after diving into Joseph Campbell's work more and even deeper, and also this book more, and thinking on it more, and also teaching it, as more time has evolved, I've decided that there's actually a better way and a few more distinctions to teach this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create what I call a hoplink card. So how this currently ends, and I'll just show you, is this whole framework starts with 4214/0AC, okay? And I'm just going to remove this, and then 4214/0AC/14. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a hoplink card, okay? And I'm going to say, and I just want to check something here. Yep, cool. What what I'm going to say is on this hoplink card, it's pretty simple. And I'm just going to pull out like a, I don't know, the color red, because I like to just make it kind of distinct, okay, when I look at a hoplink card. So I'm going to put, since we last left off at 4214/0AC/14, I'm going to create a card that says, the card address is 4214/0AC/14A. And on this, I'm going to say, you can see, I'll just zoom in here so you can see this. And what I'm going to put down here is basically, you can see it a little bit more clearer. So I'm going to say, just even anywhere, I'm going to say, for an alternative framework from here, comma, C, and I like to put mine in little, single quotes, kind of like almost like a list or something. And if you could see, I ended off with this right here. Okay, this is the last and final card in my original hero's journey. So what I've decided to do, what I'm going to do is basically, I'm going to file this alternative phase behind it. Okay, so basically this was 4214/0AC/21. I'm going to put this as, if you can see this, hopefully, yep, I'll go up here, I'm going to put this right here as 4214/0AC/ and I'm going to do 22, and I have an option. I can just do 22, and then the next sequence could be 23, 24, 25, but I'm going to kind of space it and branch it down. So I'm going to do 22/1, okay? So you can see right there, okay? And so then over here, I'm going to go back here, and what I'm going to do here is, let me just put this up, is I'm going to say, for an alternative framework from here, C, and then like I mentioned, I'm going to link to this card right here, okay? So I'm going to say 4214/0AC/22. And so that signals to me that I'm going to see the entire section of 22 from here on, okay? And you may be thinking or wondering, you're like, wow, this is a lot of work. Well, actually it's not, because the only thing that slows me down is explaining it to you assholes. Just kidding, but seriously. No, but seriously, this takes me a second to do, and it's going to take you a second to do when you know how to do it. The fact that I have to actually slow down my mind and explain it to you makes it a little bit longer. So that is basically what goes down right here. I'm going to then, as you can remember, there's the 4214/0AC/15. I'm going to file this before, such that there's 14, and then says for an alternative framework for here, see 4214/0AC/22. And what I'm then going to do next, so just to give you some insight, is now we have this stack right here, okay, 4214/0AC. Okay, that's the main daddy of my origin story. Now what I'm going to do is, it may look chaotic to you, is I'm going to kind of organize whoop, I almost fell. All right, cool. I'm going to organize my cards now on my desk. So I've got this one, that's first, this one's second, okay, this one's third, then I think it's where did this one end? Yeah, that one ended at 8. I'm gonna put this here, and then this here, okay? And then finally, I end on this card. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just gonna give them addresses, and I'll show you how to do that right now, is what I'm going to do is, so this is 4214/0AC/22/1. This will be easy. Do 4214/0AC/22/2. 4214, slash 0AC/22/3. 4214/0AC/22/4. Okay. 4214/0AC/22/5. And then 4214/0AC/22/6. Boom. Now, as you probably noticed, I organized these backwards, so all I have to do is do that to put them in order. And then the last step here is, I've got this one, 4214/0AC. The last and final card is this, 0AC/21, and then now I've got these guys. So this I've essentially evolved my origin story. I've essentially evolved cards that I've created 2 years ago, and I've done it nicely. Instead of inserting all of those cards right here, I've just created a nice little hoplink card, okay, which is this, that says, for an alternative framework from here, see 4214/0AC/22. And then if I navigate over there, which is basically 0AC/22, I can find the entire sequence of this alternative set of cards, right? And, that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. So now all I have to do is I'm going to go back to my AntiNet and the section that I used to write my book, and I'm going to basically place that here. Okay, I'm going to place it here. I'm going to leave my bookmark in. So as you can see, and you see, I'm going to leave this bookmark in because I'm basically going to come to it and revisit it next month when I write issue number 11 of the Scott Shepherd letter, and it's pretty much already outlined for me. Issue number 11 is basically just this, and I'm going to be, using these cards and then writing them out on a yellow legal pad by hand. And then that's pretty much it. And so here's the last piece I want to highlight for you. I'm going to close up this thing and talk to you as I finish. So one of the benefits, and you'll hear me talking about this more and more, especially my transformative incubator and program and alliance of independent writers I call Right to Freedom, which is coming up and coming soon. It's going to be the next big freaking thing, is I highly espouse, and I'm a huge fan of the physical monthly newsletter as a device for sharpening your mind and serving your audience and delivering content to them, getting people to essentially unplug from digital and read your stuff. And of course, as a, basically a startup guy, entrepreneur in the tech space for the last 15 years, I also have a platform that I use. It's called Greenlamp, which basically I upload my physical monthly newsletter and use Greenlamp to power my entire online business. So if you want to write a physical monthly newsletter, basically just upload it into Greenlamp, send it out every single month, have it printed, sent, all of that stuff. It's freaking incredible. Greenlamp, GREENLAMP.com. It might not even be available or close to the public by the time you get this. I don't know. I just had to tell you about it. But here's the benefit of doing a physical monthly newsletter. All of this content you're creating is essentially serves as material for chapters in a book. So when I want to launch a book, I've got material now from the past year of doing this. I can launch 2 or even 3 books from all of the material I've created from over the past year, which is also phenomenal. So all of this stuff compounds. Basically, Using an anti-net Zettelkasten compounds, writing a physical monthly newsletter compounds, releasing a book compounds, and you're able to create a tribe of super fans and also create an independent living, making multiple six figures a year doing this, which acts essentially as the business and the, essentially the recurring revenue engine for your business so that you can do other, even higher price, bigger things. So I just wanted to share this with you. It's really exciting stuff, and where everyone else is zigging, like talking about AI and all this other bullcrap, we're zagging. We're here to do things the old way, the hard way, the deliberate way, the simple way, but not the easy way. And that's the best way. That's the true way. Anyway, hope this helped you and hope you got a lot of value out of it. And always remember to stay crispy, my friend. Peace.